everyone, I hope you all are doing well and keeping safe. So today we are going to discuss the poem Keeping Quiet, written by Pablo Neruda. Now we are going to discuss the poem with the help of this mind map that I have prepared for you. So now this poem is written about the modern world that we are living in, where life moves at a very fast pace and we have become very selfish and we are least concerned about other human beings or the nature, right? So the poem is written by Pablo Neruda, and he was a Chilean poet. He was a diplomat as well as a politician. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971 and he started writing at the age of 13 years. Now the poem begins with a note of introspection, right? So the poet suggests that he will count up to 12 and we all have to keep still. So now why does he say so? Because he wants to create a sense of togetherness in the minds of all the people, right? Now here 12, the figure 12 can refer to the 12 months of the year, or the 12 hours on the face of the clock, or the 12 seconds, right? So in those 12 seconds of silence that the poet wishes to observe, he wants all the people to be silent, to be still. He does not want anybody to talk in any kind of language. Why? Because he thinks that language signifies barrier, right? And the poet talks about breaking all the barriers, right? So according to the poet, this world is full of noises, right? And this sudden moment of silence will create an exotic moment. Now what is exotic moment? It is a very new experience for everyone, the experience that nobody had gone through before, right? So he wants to say that when everybody would be silent, an exotic moment will be created for all of us, right, to experience. So because there would be no rush, there would be no noise, and all the people would be bonded by this sudden stillness, right? Now why does he want everything to come at a standstill? Because he wants us to give a chance to reflect on our own actions, right? He wants all the men to reflect. To reflect means to self-analyze on one's actions, right? Okay, then what will happen? No war would be there against the nature or any chemical war. Then he wants us to wear clean clothes. Now what does clean clothes signify here? The cleansing of our soul, right? And then what will happen? Everywhere peace and brotherhood would prevail. When there would be no war, everywhere what would be there? Peace and brotherhood. Now when he says everything would come to a standstill, he says that the fishermen would not be able to harm the whales, and all those men who gather salt would also stop their work and have a look at their hands, right, which are hurt due to their continuous activity of collecting the salt. So this way they would be able to stop the self-harm and have a look at the self-harm that they are doing to their hands. So this short break will enable both nature as well as men to heal their wounds, right? So for once they would be able to pay heed to each other, to themselves, rather than their work, and understand them better, right? So those who are involved in various conflicts would also stop the war and walk about doing nothing, right? And because of this, peace and brotherhood would prevail. So now here the poet is giving us a clarification. What does he say? He says that total inactivity doesn't mean death, fine? So when he says that you have to stop all the activities, he does not want to signify that it is death, right? According to him, so what does he want to say? According to him, life is to be lived in its fullness and not being idle and lazy, okay? So he feels that in today's life, people are engrossed in keeping their lives moving and fulfilling their duties. They don't have the time to think about themselves or the others, and it will lead to the end of every form of life on earth, okay, and a huge silence will arise. So he believes that if we observe these few moments of silence, it will unite us in a strange silence and help us understand ourselves better and help us reflect ourselves better. So what would this do? It would foster a sense of brotherhood and unity among us. Now here the poet personifies nature and the Mother Earth as a teacher and advises us to learn a lesson from it, right? So now the nature appears to be dead on the surface, fine. So for example, in winter season, everything, all the trees look as if they are lifeless. But what happens during the spring season? All the leaves, all the trees blossom with flowers, right? So life, there is life under apparent stillness. So this is what Mother Nature or the earth teaches us, right? So but beneath the surface there is amazing life, and which proves that there can be life under apparent stillness, fine. He also wants to drive out the fear of death from the reader's mind, okay. Now let's talk about the literary devices. So we have alliteration, and we have more examples of alliteration in the poem. And then we have personification, because earth has been compared to a teacher. It has been given human qualities. I hope you all have understood the poem with the help of this mind map. Thank you everyone for watching.